All right, so I got the floor in this Dodge wire wheel down real good. I peeled all the seam sealer out from here, finished welding, just kind of knocked the welds down on that. You can see over there where basically had like a small little crack there, and then that had a hole there and a kind of a funky hole there, so I just cut those chunks out and replaced those. So that's pretty good. I tapped on everywhere on the floor and kind of stabbed with a screwdriver. Nothing other than those couple little spots seemed like they had been rusted through. So everything else felt pretty good. I could weld to it, so it's always a good sign that your metal's not too awfully thin and rusted. Why is this thing remain in focus? Too awfully thin and rusted, because otherwise the heat from your welder will just melt the rusted metal away. And we peeled all this seam sealer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and tape this. I'm leaving that and then tape the rocker so I don't get a bunch of the chassis saver on to our primered area, because it doesn't really sand very good. So I'll back tape that. I'll grab our chassis saver. It's taped up. Tape this stuff up. Clean this edge really good if you open it, because it'll glue the lid to the can and you cannot get that sucker apart. So got that. I want to get that before it kicks off. So I should be able to come back, tape this, and I'm just going to brush it on there nice and heavy and really get a good coat in there. They say to leave it pretty rusty, just basically wire reel the loose stuff off, and then that gives the chassis saver something to convert and also to bite into. Crazy. It's actually really good stuff. Very, very impressed with it. Basically, we just use one of these little brushes and brush it on there. And yeah, that's kind of the plan for right now. Let me get that thing taped up. Chassis saver ready. I'm gonna mop some on there and then cool. Alright, we got that chassis saver wiped on there, brushed on, mopped on, whatever you want to call it. Went ahead and hammered it pretty thick right here, because there's 2 layers of metal there. Basically you get your floor pan and your inner rocker, and they seam sealed that from the factory. So when we peeled all the seam sealer, I shoved a bunch of that chassis saver down there, hopefully that it'll float in between those 2 pieces of metal, and if there's a bunch of rust down there, it should stop and convert it from getting any worse. So I think what I'm going to do is tackle these fenders. Basically, we're going to 180 them out, clean up anything that needs to be cleaned. If it does need to be primed, which they felt pretty straight, it shouldn't. And then we'll re-guide coat those, 320 them all out, or 400, whatever I got over there. And then we're going to seal them and paint them. So those sand scratches should be more than good. And then looks like something splashed up here. So there's no dents or nothing. So I didn't really feel like I needed to do body work or primer this. We'll just seal it when we paint it. So I'll go ahead and maybe like 320 all this stuff out. Try to get that feather back. Scotch-Brite all the stuff in here. Try to get it clean. Get all the dirt and stuff cleaned off it and scuffed up. And then, yeah, we just get it ready for paint. So that's kind of the plan on that for the next few minutes. And hopefully we can make some progress on this thing. We got that. Let's see, we left off. We got the fenders blocked, and then we were going to start on the cab, but I had put some chassis saver down. It was pretty dirty now that I've taken the dash out and all the crap that fell down, but this is nice and dry now, so that's really killed any of that surface rust. So, and then I came in this morning, tore the dash out, got the heater box out, and then just steering column and whatever was along here on the firewall, clutch master cylinders, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So then I can, it's nice and flat, I could just really sand that thing nice and easy, and be able to reach in there and back tape everything all nice. Try not to get any overspray blown into the cab, but more important, any of the crap that's in the cab possibly blown out into our paint. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. I'm just going to keep blocking on this thing. I think we're going to just 180 this thing out, kind of rough over it with the DA. This thing was in pretty good shape, so it doesn't need a real hard block. So I'll run over it with the DA with 180 and then probably block it with 180 and then come back and hit it with 320 or 400, whatever we got over there. And then we're going to do the firewall. That's the plan. I'm going to keep on trucking away, get this thing hopefully prepped out most of the way today. That's the plan, so we'll see if we can get it done. Alright, so we got this thing all 180'd, gridded out, and then came back over. I missed a dent here originally. And a couple small spots. I think there's a little dinger there, a couple in that jam, and that's why we block it, to try to find those imperfections. Oh, I think Tony's getting ready to leave. Anyway, so we got that all 180'd out. I painted it up with a couple spots of primer, and then tomorrow we're gonna guide coat the thing and run over it with probably 320, and then get it prepped for painting. Alright, back here working on the 93 Dodge pickup. Left off, we got it all sanded down, 320 or 400. I think it's 320'd out. We're going to put a primer sealer on it and then single stage it with Valspar's single stage. So for now, I'm just doing a once over, kind of just making sure that I got everything. Like I seen one little goofy spot here where maybe my hand hit it with some seam sealer or something. Taking a Scotch-Brite pad, knocking any kind of overspray or anything that could be on it just from being in the shop, and we're gonna start taping it. So I'm gonna get this thing taped up with the front fenders, look those things over, and then hopefully roll it over to the booth. I'll grab paint this afternoon, and hopefully tomorrow we'll start painting on this thing. So we'll see if we can get it taped up today. So we're back here. We got the inner fenders, the core support, and a set of wheels we had sandblasted. We're gonna throw those into an epoxy sealer, and then basically we're using our for our sealer, we're using their Valspar's industrial mix FP422. Used that a few times. It dries real nice. I actually like it. It seems to be really nice for mid-grade epoxy. So we're gonna blast that on those fenders. I already mixed it up. Letting it sit here, been letting it sit for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, give it an introduction period between 20 and 30 minutes, so by the time I get it in there, it'll be 30 minutes, fairly warm, so we're good there, and yeah, we're going to spray a coat of epoxy on those and let them sit. Alright, so we got the cab in the booth all taped up, washed with wax and grease remover, and then tack rag down. Same thing on our fenders. We sprayed epoxy on these. I just set them on this stand so I can kind of spray down. Try not to get too much overspray up underneath them, and then it kind of cleared up some room with that giant rack. Everything's all tacked down, ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some white primer sealer, which is it's not a DTM, so it's not a direct to metal. Basically, it helps cover up any sand scratches and anything that could possibly bleed back through where we got, you know, like metal, old paint, and primer sticking through. We get all one uniform color, and then we're gonna hit it with our color. So for that, we got Valspar CPS SHS, which is, I have really good luck with this. Been pretty happy with it. It's kind of an industrial grade, same with the epoxy and the top coat. So got that ready. I'm going to mix it up, get suited up, and then spray that in the cab and the fenders and give that probably about 45 minutes to an hour. Alright, we got that thing all set and painted in sealer, and it's been sitting for about an hour or so. I'm going to mix up our single stage. We're using our Valspar's single cage PW7. It's their industrial mix. I'm pretty happy with that stuff. Pretty thick, lays out real nice. And yeah, I think I'm going to mix that up and then get suited up and go spray a couple coats of single stage on our cab. Pretty good temperature there, about 75. Got this thing all painted finally. It took most of the day. It's our white single stage. I kind of like it. It definitely comes out a little thick. A little more orange peel probably than I'd really care for, but it's a first gen Dodge. It's probably going to be okay. That painted. Got both those painted. Core support I painted, just kind of shoved over. 2 coat these. Got a little bit of crap in it because when you're sandblasted, you cannot hit it with anything like a rag or anything. It grabs in there. I blew it off, but it didn't come off there. But inner fender went on the Dodge, it'd be fine. We got the cab done. Good. And I did get a little drip out of my gun right there. It's not a run, it's actually a drop out of my gun. For some reason had a little bit of a leak, but signed it right there. It's alright. Other than that, not too bad. Not too bad considering I paint like every couple months maybe. So plan is to let this run for another 15 minutes or so. Just kind of let that paint air out a little bit. Basically the air is going to help come across the paint and kind of help pull some of the gases out, so kind of help kick it off a little bit. Plus about 75 degrees in there, so that's a nice good temperature to be painting at. So that pretty much ends up this video here, at least on the so far on this Dodge. We're gonna probably come back and do a little bit of buffing, and then I don't know if he wants us to just set it on the frame that we got prepped a while back, give it back to him. I think he got some body mounts coming or something, so I don't know, we'll figure that out down the road. So if you like this type of stuff, these videos, me pretty much just goofing off and recording it, give me a like, a subscribe, comment below, and remember, like always, get out there and create something today, even if it sucks. Peace.